Hi, I'm attorney Demetrius Evans of the TEIL firms where excellence matters, and today I'm bringing to you your TEIL couple of minutes, but I'd like to talk to you about corporate governance. Now, corporate governance could mean a government that is putting regulations on a corporation, but it could also mean that the society at large is putting governing standards on a corporation. Now, as we move into this global business world, there really are a lack of international regulations to protect workers, communities, and the environment. And this lack of regulations has spurred a very powerful movement. And this movement is aimed at corporate responsibility. Companies such as Levi Strauss or a Walmart will have a long line of companies in their supply chains. So the product that they make may have raw materials brought from one place, may be assembled in another country by another company, and so on and so forth, as well as they have a lot of consumers and many, many more investors. Corporations like this have a great responsibility to not only pay attention to what they do and how they govern themselves, but everything that they do is watched by the consumer, the investor, as well as every one of these companies in their corporate supply chain. Even in countries where there is a well-established regulatory system and effective courts and everything, like such as the United States, you will still find that some corporations will get caught up. So here's an example. In the Louisiana Pacific Corporation, it was assessed a criminal fine of a 28-year history to the U.S. Clean Air Act. Now, this company employs 13,000 people in the U.S., Canada, and Ireland, and it has $2.5 billion in sales. But the company had people to plead guilty to 18 felonies, and it agreed to pay $37 million in penalties. And this was a violation of the Clean Air Act. The only way that this came to light was because an employee, a former employee, he filed a lawsuit against it and alleged that he had been fired for refusing to tamper with one of the facility's pollution monitoring equipment. That's the only way that this whole situation came to light. Now, even if you had corporate governance, there's no way that the EPA or any other kind of state or federal environmental protection officials could have supervised that. It's just too minute. So what's the answer, you might say? The answer could lie in having a code of corporate conduct. And you might say, what's a code of corporate conduct? Now, these might be aspirational statements where a corporation would say, our aim is to operate in the spirit of honesty and fairness, and we will contribute to the overall economy of the world. Or something like, we choose to obey the law and not to cheat. Now, those are great starts, and they might sound like they're a little bit flowery or mushy, but sometimes they actually work. Like in 1999, the United Nations asked corporations to sign a self-reporting and voluntary global compact. This global compact they asked them to adhere to 9 widely accepted UN principles of human rights and labor standards. The good thing is they are supposed to report on their own, but there's also the world community that has access to their global compact contracts and can keep them accountable. So you have public accountability. Now, private companies can decide whether or not they choose to put some kind of restraints on how they will act, their behavior, and they can do it from altruism, or they can do it because their investors demand that they do. Those people who say, Demetrius, we don't trust it, this process will still not be satisfied, even if there is this conduct, this code of conduct. I say to you that that's absolutely true. But we cannot continue in the way that we've been going. We have to, as a corporate world, or a world that has more and more companies beginning and evolving and going global, we have to take responsibility that we make sure there are standards, specific standards, to keep our world alive, to keep our environment healthy, and just to make sure we're here for the next generation. So as a part of TEIL Firms, we are encouraging you to make sure in your companies that you have a code of conduct, that you follow it, and that you continue to create a better, a cleaner, and a healthier world. This has been Demetrius Evans, and we appreciate your time.